It's now my great honor and pleasure to introduce this year's commencement speaker, Veera Amoor Shaheen. Veera Amoor Shaheen, yes. Veera Amoor Shaheen is a leader and visionary in the areas of philanthropy, corporate social responsibility, and building ties among underrepresented communities. Veera is the West Region Executive for U.S. Community Relations at Citibank. She has served as a strong advocate for communities of color and low and moderate income communities throughout her entire career. A courageous business leader, Veera fosters a culture of inclusion by ensuring that the voices and perspectives of nonprofit leaders and the communities they serve are reflected in business decisions about products, services, and philanthropy. Veera Amoor Shaheen is a living, breathing example of the wide range of exciting career paths that are possible with a BA in sociology. Graduating from UCLA with that degree, a BA in sociology in 2005, Veera has shown how to effectively link between the business and nonprofit community, pressing for greater equity and inclusion through her ongoing engagements. Veera's work has connected her with tenant advocacy organizations in the Bay Area around challenges of housing affordability and racial inequality for Black and Latinx communities. She's worked on projects to support relief to community members during the COVID-19 pandemic, and she's also promoted efforts to fight racism and xenophobia facing entrepreneurs of color. This positions her perfectly to talk with us today as an excellent example of all the important work one can do with a degree in sociology from UCLA, just like all of you. So with no further ado, esteemed guest, I present to you our keynote speaker for today, Veera Amoor Shaheen.
Before I start, can we give another round of applause for our student speakers? So let me be honest. Admittedly, I was a little surprised to be invited to speak today, given the fact that I didn't make it to my own UCLA sociology commencement in '05. I promise I wasn't partying. I was actually finishing a final, and I was exhausted, and I couldn't wake up for a 9 a.m. graduation. But here lies my first piece of advice for you. Sometimes in life, you will get a second chance to do something for the first time, and you better make sure you show up. Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Chair Walker, Peter Evans, distinguished faculty and staff, and most of all you, the graduating class, for inviting me to serve as your commencement speaker today. It is an honor, and I am humbled to share this milestone moment with you, the UCLA Sociology Battle-Tested Class of 2024. So I liked what the student speakers were doing earlier, so can we continue this theme of doing some type of roll call? Can you make some noise if you're a first-generation college student? Okay. What about, are you a transfer? Any transfers in the house? I know we have some international students. Okay. Where are my PhDs? Master's students? Honors students? Okay. Anyone pledge a fraternity or sorority? And last one, do we have any resident assistants in the house? Any RAs? A couple, okay. So being gathered here physically today is extra special for many of you, especially those of you who graduated or transferred from community college 4 years ago and were limited to virtual celebrations. Maybe you weren't even able to celebrate at all. Given the unimaginable events and what's happened on college campuses across the country, you may have worried again that you'd be robbed of this moment. But that was not the case, UCLA. We are all here this beautiful Father's Day weekend at the LA Tennis Center to celebrate you and this Herculean accomplishment. What better gift than being able to watch your loved one graduate from the 8-time #1 public university in the country. And one of the most prestigious universities in the world. Now, graduates, while this day is about you, let's also acknowledge that no one truly does anything of this magnitude alone. Another heartfelt thank you to all of your family members, friends, mentors, professors who sacrificed prayers, love, encouragement, financial support. Should I repeat? Financial support made your commencement at UCLA possible today. I would also like to take a moment to acknowledge those who showed up for me today. I have my inspirational mother, Adrienne, 3 of my beautiful little sisters, Tania, Alfredo, and Amariana, my friends who have become family, Renee, Christina, Dexter, and Brandon, my beautiful and brilliant goddaughter, Michaela, and my beloved husband, Charlie. We're newlyweds, y'all. I'm excited, okay? I also have several other people who are here with me in my heart. Delivering a commencement address is a great responsibility, so I went back to the basics and I relied on the investigative research skills I learned in Soc 20 to prepare for this occasion. My baby sister, Mariana, is a rising senior at Cal State Sacramento. Go ahead, you can clap. And she gathered a few of her closest classmates to participate in a commencement speech focus group that I conducted in preparation for today. They candidly share what they were excited about, what they were afraid of, what would give them the ick, and what they hoped their commencement speaker would share with them next year. 2 themes emerged from the focus group. 1, they wanted advice on jobs, how to find a career, and 2, they wanted financial advice on things like how to pay bills or how to pay off student loan debt. Overall, though, they wanted short-term, practical advice to be spoken to like adults and to be told that everything would be okay. My assumption is that many of you have the same interest as my focus group. We are all aware of the crises that are happening outside of the LA Tennis Center, on campus, in LA, around the world. Luckily, as students of sociology and as the disruptive leaders of tomorrow, you know that while crises are not a prerequisite for innovation or positive change in the world, major reforms and new paradigms often require the breakdown of systems, institutions, and existing processes. Class of 2024, you are resilient, and you are graduating at the ideal time because the world is ripe with opportunity for imagination. You have the tools, resources, and lived experience necessary to build strong coalitions, collaborate, and drive innovative solutions, to lead with empathy and curiosity. In fact, I'm confident that someone from this graduating class is going to lead the team that figures out how to cool off the earth by reducing our reliance on greenhouse gases, the team that will bring greater regulation to tech and promote the responsible use of generative AI, the team that will solve the affordability and housing crisis in Los Angeles, the team that will protect democracy. I am certain of this because you are UCLA sociology graduates. You have been acutely trained to understand and engage more effectively with the society around us. You can gather information and data from scattered sources and put it into perspective. You can engage in non-hostile, civil dialogue with multiple stakeholders who have opinions different than yours. You have been trained to ask insightful, appropriate questions that move conversations forward and not backwards. You can see opportunities rather than challenges. You can find the good. But I know what you're thinking. Vera, what happened to that short-term practical career advice the focus group suggested? So let's focus the rest of our time together there. Ty mentioned it. Over the next couple of months, expect to feel completely overwhelmed and underprepared. It's normal. We've all gone through it as recent graduates. You will get through it. It builds character. While your first job after college is unlikely to define your career, I encourage you to think of it as a high-stakes milestone and to give it the attention it deserves. Make intentional decisions about the roles you are considering and make sure that they align with your purpose, the skills that you want to develop, the networks you want access to, the environment you thrive in, and the lifestyle you want to live. Ideally, the roles you consider would align with all 5 indicators. But at the very least, pick 2 or 3 that are priority for you right now, realizing that your priorities will evolve as you evolve and grow as people and leaders. I have a few regrets in life. If I could go back, I would be more intentional with my first job after graduate school. See, I went straight to NYU after UCLA. I graduated in 2008 at the start of the Great Recession, a global economic downturn that caused millions to lose their homes, jobs, and savings. And I remember being bombarded with messages around the astronomically high unemployment numbers, financial uncertainty, and how I would likely struggle to find a job. Driven by fear and necessity, 2 months after graduation, I jumped into the first job offer I received. It was at a national nonprofit organization focused on helping low to moderate income communities, typically who had been formerly incarcerated, develop skills, find jobs, and advance in career paths. My experience there was invaluable. It laid a solid foundation for my career in financial inclusion, as well as my career in corporate philanthropy. I also met the most incredible mentors who ultimately helped me move from the nonprofit to the corporate sector. But with over $200,000 of student loan debt, a BA from UCLA, a master's from NYU, I should have never considered accepting a role without negotiating for $51,000 a year. I worked really, really hard, and I couldn't afford to pay my bills or my student loans, and that's even living with a roommate. Needless to say, my job was not conducive to the lifestyle I wanted to live. Starting at such a low salary also put me in a bind. It hurt my career earning potential, and I spent years catching up to my peers. I share this story with you graduates as a cautionary tale in hopes that you are more intentional with your options as you're looking at jobs. So to recap, as you embark on your next journey to create a more just and equitable society, show up to the places that matter and show up for the people who matter. It is okay not to have your entire life, career figured out right now. No one's expecting that. Make intentional decisions about the roles you are pursuing and make sure they align with your priorities. Let your hopes and dreams guide you and not your fears. There are very few decisions in life that are permanent, especially in your career. Your tomorrow does not have to be your forever. Give yourself permission to change your mind and change jobs, roles if you want to. Share your mistakes with others who could benefit from hearing the lessons. And as my mom would say, know your worth and double it. Don't accept any as-is offers without negotiating. Lean on your classmates, friends, and mentors for support and guidance. I'll tell you, the friends that I used to party with at UCLA, that I sat in lectures with, that I programmed with, are now my confidants, they're my business colleagues, and I'm sure you'll make connections like that too. And finally, if you don't remember anything I said today, please prioritize self-care and your mental and physical health. As you navigate the world of work, it could be emotionally and physically draining, and it is essential that you prioritize your own well-being in order to best serve others. Congratulations, class of 2024. I wish you all the best.